The story of the Nephilim is one of the most fascinating and enigmatic narratives in the Bible. Despite their brief mention in Genesis 6:1-4, these heroes of old, men of renown, have sparked millennia of debates and interpretations. They are not just mysterious figures lost in ancient history. They are symbols of humanity's moral decline, the consequences of divine rebellion, and the dangerous interplay between the earthly and the supernatural. Genesis 6:1-4 provides the foundation of their story. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. This passage offers a tantalizing glimpse into a pre-flood world, a time when celestial beings crossed divine boundaries, and their actions led to profound consequences. The Nephilim, born of these unions, were beings of immense power and influence. Yet their rise coincided with humanity's moral collapse, culminating in the catastrophic judgment of the Great Flood. Key questions raised by Genesis 6:1-4:1. Who were the sons of God? Were the Nephilim literal giants or symbolic figures representing power and rebellion? What role did the Nephilim play in the moral corruption of the pre-flood world? Why did their existence provoke such a severe response from God? Who were the sons of God? The sons of God, Bene Elohim, are central to the narrative. Their identity has been debated for centuries, with two dominant interpretations emerging. The fallen angels view ancient Jewish texts, such as the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilees, identify the sons of God as fallen angels, celestial beings who abandon their heavenly station to take human wives. This interpretation finds strong support in the New Testament, particularly Jude 1:6. And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. These angels, often called the Watchers, defied God's will and corrupted humanity by introducing forbidden knowledge and fathering the Nephilim. The Sethite view, some theologians interpret the sons of God as the righteous descendants of Seth, Adam and Eve's third son. According to this view, their union with the daughters of men, the descendants of Cain, symbolizes spiritual compromise, where godly men intermarried with corrupt, ungodly women, leading to the Nephilim's rise. While both interpretations have merit, the fallen angel view better aligns with the supernatural overtones of the text and its parallels in ancient traditions. The antediluvian world, a time of greatness and corruption. The antediluvian, pre-flood era, was a time of paradox. Humanity was expanding, building cities, and mastering the earth. Yet alongside these achievements came escalating greed, oppression, and moral decay. Civilization flourished, but so did sin. Genesis 6:5 summarizes the state of humanity. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The Watchers' descent. According to the Book of Enoch, a group of 200 angels known as the Watchers defied God by descending to earth. Led by a charismatic and rebellious leader, Semjaza, they swore an oath to corrupt humanity. Their descent to Mount Hermon marked the beginning of a series of events that would alter the course of creation. The Watchers' pact on Mount Hermon. The summit of Mount Hermon is cloaked in mist as 200 angels gather. Their radiant forms shimmer with divine energy, but their faces betray defiance. Semjaza, raising his hand. Brothers, let us bind ourselves by a great oath. If we are to defy heaven, we must do so together. Each of us shall take a wife from among the daughters of men and create a new order upon the earth. Watcher 1. But what of heaven's wrath? Will we not face judgment for this? Semjaza, smirking. Better to rule the earth than serve in heaven. Together, we will make ourselves gods. The angels nod in agreement, their celestial forms dimmed as they step onto the earth. This moment marks a turning point in human history as divine rebellion intersects with human existence. The Nephilim, heroes of old, tyrants of men, The union between the Watchers and human women produces the Nephilim, beings of immense size, strength, and intellect. These heroes of old rise to positions of power, dominating human society. Their physical might and supernatural lineage make them nearly invincible, and they are revered as gods by some and feared as tyrants by others. A Nephilim's rule. In a sprawling city, a Nephilim warlord clad in golden armor addresses a crowd of trembling villagers. Nephilim leader, we are the children of the gods, born to rule. Your lands, your livestock, your lives, they belong to us. Bow before us, and you shall live. Resist, and you will perish. The villagers bow, though their hearts are filled with despair. An elder whispers to his grandson, Elder, their strength is great, but their pride will be their downfall. The Lord of Heaven will not allow this to continue. The Nephilim's dominance extends beyond physical power. They become architects of vast cities, builders of monumental fortresses, and warriors without equal. Yet their reign is marked by oppression and cruelty. Entire tribes are enslaved, and the earth groans under the weight of their tyranny. Asterisk, forbidden knowledge, and humanity's corruption. The Watchers not only fathered the Nephilim, but also introduced humanity to forbidden knowledge. According to the Book of Enoch, they taught humans the secrets of metallurgy, weapon making, enchantments, and astrology. While these advancements brought progress, they also enabled conquest, deception, and idolatry. A blacksmith's dilemma. A blacksmith stands before a Watcher, who places a glowing blade into his hands. The blacksmith's eyes widen as he feels the weapon's power. Blacksmith, this blade, it is stronger than anything I have forged before. How is this possible? Watcher, smiling, it is knowledge from the heavens. With this weapon, you will rule over men. Let no one stand against you. The blacksmith hesitates, his conscience troubled. Blacksmith, but what will the Lord think of this knowledge? Are we not defying his will? Watcher, the Lord has abandoned you. Embrace this power and you will become like a god. This scene illustrates how humanity, seduced by power, strayed further from God's path. The Nephilim, with their might and influence, became symbols of a world spiraling into chaos. God's grief and decision to act as violence and corruption spread, the earth became a place of chaos and despair. Genesis 6:11 describes the state of the world. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. The rise of the Nephilim, the forbidden knowledge of the Watchers, and humanity's growing wickedness compelled God to act. Genesis 6:6 captures his sorrow. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. Yet amidst this darkness, one man stood out, Noah. Described as righteous and blameless, Noah walked faithfully with God. His life was a stark contrast to the corruption around him, and through him, God would bring salvation to the remnants of creation. God speaks to Noah. In a quiet moment of prayer, Noah hears God's voice. God, Noah, the earth is filled with violence because of them. I will destroy all living creatures, for they have corrupted their ways. But you, Noah, have found favor in my eyes. Build an ark, for through you I will preserve life. Noah, though overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task, bows in submission. Noah, Lord, I am your servant. I will do as you command. This sets the stage for the dramatic events of the Great Flood, a divine reset meant to cleanse the earth of its corruption and restore God's order. The Great Flood, judgment and renewal. Asterisk, expanded and detailed. The rise of the Nephilim and the moral decay of humanity led to one of the most dramatic judgments recorded in the Bible, the Great Flood. It was not merely a natural catastrophe, but a divine reset, a powerful act of justice and mercy. God resolved to cleanse the earth, sparing only Noah, his family, and a remnant of creation to restore his design. The call to build the ark, asterisk. As the corruption of the earth reached its peak, God chose Noah, a man of faith and obedience, to carry out his plan. Genesis 6 describes Noah as a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. In the midst of a wicked and violent world, Noah stood apart, a beacon of hope. God's command to Noah, asterisk, asterisk. In the quiet of the evening, as Noah prayed in solitude, the voice of God spoke to him. Noah, the earth is filled with violence, for all have corrupted their ways. I will bring an end to all people, for the earth is defiled. Build an ark of cypress wood with rooms and a coating of pitch inside and out. This is how you are to construct it. Its length shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Noah's heart raced as he listened, yet his faith did not waver. He bowed his head in submission. Noah, Lord, I am your servant. I will do as you command. The ark's construction and the mockery of the Nephilim. This sets the stage for the dramatic events of the Great Flood, a divine reset meant to cleanse the earth of its corruption and restore God's order. The Great Flood, judgment and renewal. The rise of the Nephilim and the moral decay of humanity led to one of the most dramatic judgments recorded in the Bible, the Great Flood. It was not merely a natural catastrophe, but a divine reset, a powerful act of justice and mercy. God resolved to cleanse the earth, sparing only Noah, his family, and a remnant of creation to restore his design. The call to build the ark. As the corruption of the earth reached its peak, God chose Noah, a man of faith and obedience, to carry out his plan. Genesis 6:9 describes Noah as a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. In the midst of a wicked and violent world, Noah stood apart, a beacon of hope. God's command to Noah. In the quiet of the evening, as Noah prayed in solitude, the voice of God spoke to him. God, Noah, the earth is filled with violence, for all have corrupted their ways. I will bring an end to all people, for the earth is defiled. Build an ark of cypress wood, with rooms and a coating of pitch inside and out. This is how you are to construct it. Its length shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Noah's heart raced as he listened, yet his faith did not waver. He bowed his head in submission. Noah, Lord, I am your servant. I will do as you command. The ark's construction and the mockery of the Nephilim. 4 years, Noah and his family labored to build the ark, a massive structure that defied understanding. Its construction attracted the attention of the surrounding population, including the Nephilim, who mocked and ridiculed Noah's efforts. The Nephilim confront Noah. The ark towers above the landscape, its skeletal frame a testament to years of labor. A group of Nephilim approaches, their towering forms casting long shadows over the construction site. Nephilim leader laughing. Old man, what is this monstrosity you build? Do you think it will save you from the heavens' wrath? We are the mighty ones. Let the rains come. We will not fall. Noah calmly. Your strength will not save you. Turn from your wicked ways, for the Lord's judgment is near. The Nephilim sneer, their arrogance unshaken. Nephilim leader, you waste your time. The gods favor us, not you. Noah continued his work, undeterred by their scorn. His obedience was steadfast, fueled by his unwavering faith in God's promise. The gathering of the animals. As the ark neared completion, a miraculous event unfolded. Animals of every kind began to arrive, drawn by divine command. They came in pairs, some for preservation and others in sevens for sacrifice. The sight was awe-inspiring and undeniable evidence of God's hand at work. The procession of the animals. Noah and his family watch in wonder as animals approach the ark in orderly procession. Ham, astonished, Father, how is this possible? The lions and the lambs walk side by side without fear. Noah, with a smile, the Lord calls them as he has called us. Each creature will find its place within the ark, for God's plan is perfect. The gathering of the animals served as a symbol of God's intention to preserve the beauty and diversity of his creation amidst the coming destruction. The floodwaters begin. When the ark was completed and the animals and Noah's family had entered, God himself sealed the door. Genesis 7:11-12 describes the beginning of the flood. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month, on that day all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. The flood was not a mere rainfall, it was a cosmic upheaval. The fountains of the deep erupted, and the windows of heaven poured out water in torrents, submerging the earth. Seeing the floodwaters rise, the Nephilim and their followers, once so confident in their strength, now scramble for survival. The tallest mountains are soon overtaken, and their cries of defiance turn to despair. Nephilim leader, we are the children of gods. This cannot be our end. But the flood engulfs them, silencing their arrogance forever. A cleansing and a reset. The floodwaters covered the earth for 150 days. Every living thing that had the breath of life was wiped out, except those within the ark. This was not only a physical cleansing, but also a spiritual reset, a judgment on sin and a renewal of God's covenant with humanity. The Nephilim after the flood, a persistent shadow. Despite the flood's total destruction, Genesis 6:4 includes a cryptic phrase, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward." This has led to centuries of debate. Did some Nephilim survive the flood? Did the fallen angels return to corrupt humanity once more? Or did their legacy persist through human lineages, manifesting in later giants such as the Anakim and Rephaim? The Anakim and the giants of Canaan. The most explicit evidence of the Nephilim's post-flood presence comes during the Israelites' exploration of Canaan. Numbers 13:32-33 recounts the spies' fearful report. "The land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." The Anakim were one of several tribes of giants mentioned in the Bible. These formidable warriors posed significant challenges to the Israelites during their conquest of the Promised Land. The spies return from Canaan, their faces pale with fear. Their cities are fortified, their warriors as tall as cedars. We cannot defeat them. Do not fear. The Lord who delivered us from Egypt will deliver them into our hands. These giants are no match for our God. King Og of Bashan, the last of the Rephaim. Among the post-flood giants, King Og of Bashan stands out as a legendary figure. Deuteronomy 3:11. O king of Bashan was the last of the Rephaim. His bed was decorated with iron and was more than 9 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. This would make his bed over 13 feet long, underscoring his immense stature. Despite his might, Og is defeated by Moses and the Israelites, a testament to God's power over even the greatest adversaries. David and Goliath, the final giants. The story of the Nephilim echoes into the era of King David. Goliath, a Philistine giant described in 1 Samuel 17, stood over 9 feet tall and challenged the Israelite army. David's victory over Goliath represents the triumph of faith in God over physical might. Yet Goliath was not alone. 2 Samuel 21:15-22 counts battles with other giants, including one with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. The judgment of the Watchers. While the Nephilim faced destruction, their celestial progenitors, the Watchers, received an even harsher judgment. 2 Peter 2:4 states, "For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them in chains of darkness to be held for judgment." Similarly, Jude 1:6 describes their punishment. "And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day." The Watchers were cast into the abyss, their rebellion serving as a cautionary tale of the consequences of pride and defiance. The Nephilim story is not merely one of ancient history. It is a timeless allegory of humanity's struggle with sin, pride, and rebellion. Their rise and fall remind us of the destructive power of defiance against God and the enduring hope found in His justice and mercy. Their legacy challenges us to reflect on our own choices, our reliance on God, and our role in His creation. Their tale is both a cautionary warning and a profound exploration of humanity's capacity for both rebellion and redemption.